Okay, so this is where I left off. We just did percent. Oh, I went forward instead of backwards. We just did percent increase, percent decrease. This is the same idea, same type of formula. It's just, did they mark it up or did they mark it down? It's selling price minus the dealer's price divided by the dealer's price. Very, very similar formula. And again, positive if they mark it up, negative if they mark it down. So we have a hardware store. They pay $48.76 for glass fireplace screen. They sell them for $7.98 regularly, and when they're on sale, $69.99. So what's the percent markup at the regular price, and what's the percent markup at the sale price? So using that formula, you would have done 79.88 minus 48.76 divided by 48.76. So in your calculator, you would have done 79.88 minus 48.76 divided by 48.76 times it times 100, and I would have 63.8% of a markup. Okay, so now if it was what percent for the sale price, it would be 69.99 minus 48.76 divided by 48.76. So the only difference is I'm going to put 69.99 in now. So I got 69.99 minus 48.76 divided by 48.76 times 100, and I have 43.5%. So this time it's only a 43.5% markup. Okay, so the same thing before. If it comes out negative, it's a markdown. So this says, what's the percent marked down? So right now, because they reduced the price to $4, so now it's 4. The cost for them is 5. So this is 5. So this comes out to be negative 1/5, which comes out to be negative 20%. But I would make sure, what's the percent marked down? It's 20%. Don't put a negative again, because you just use the word markdown. Okay, so for other percent questions, the formula that we use is called is over of equals percent over 100. So what is 15% of a restaurant bill, which is $45.71? If you know how to do that and you just multiply by 0.15, that's fine. Otherwise, you can use this formula. So restating the formula as 15% of 45.71 is what? So the is the x. The of, because the word that's near of is 45.71. Sorry, I just hit a button on my pen, which made it disappear. 45.71 equals 15 over 100. So whatever is with the percent sign goes here, the 100's always there. So what you're going to do is you're going to cross multiply. So you're going to end up with 100x equals 45.71 times 15. 45.71 times 15, which gives me 685.65. 685.65. And then I'm going to divide by 100, which in essence moves it 2 places to the left. So it's 6.8565. But because it's money, because I'm going to tip somebody, so you're only going to go 2 decimal places. So it's going to be $6.86. Okay, so for number 3, again, I'm going to use is over of equals, that's number 2, sorry, percent over 100. Nancy sells a car for $19,000, and she receives a commission of $475. What's the percent of that commission? So the percent is the X. We want to know what that is. And it's really also known as part over whole. So the 475 is a smaller number. That's the commission. We want to know what percent is that of the 19,000. So when you cross multiply, you're going to get 19,000. X equals 475 times 100. Then you're going to divide by 19,000. And when you divide by 19,000, you get 2.5. So that, you don't have to do anything to it because that's the number over 100, right? So that's the 2.5%. All right, for number 3, the price of the laptop is reduced by 35%, or $341. What was the original price? So in other words, we want to know what is $341 is 35% of what number? So 341.25 over what is equal to 35 over 100. 341 is 35% of, and the of is down here. So when you cross multiply, you get 35x equals, and this multiplying by 100 just moves it 2 places to the right. So that would be that. When you divide, you get 975. So the original selling price must have been 975. Last type of question, down payment on a condominium. Wishes to buy a condominium for $189,000. To obtain a mortgage loan, she must pay 20% of the selling price as a down payment. Determine the amount. So you can use your is over of equals percent over 100 here. So we want to know what is 20% of 189. That's what we want to know. So we want to know what is 20% of 189,000. So when you cross multiply, you get 100x equals, when I cross multiply and I get that, I have 3,234. Divide by 100 would be 37,800. Okay, so that's when I cross multiplied here. The U.S. Chess Federation has about 77,000 members. Of these, 28,000 are scholastic members, meaning they are attending some level of school from kindergarten to college. What percent? So they're looking for the percent of the members are scholastic. So we would do 28,000. It's almost like the cherries question, but you could set it up like this if you wanted to. Is over of equals percent over 100. You cross multiply. Equals 28,000. Then when you divide, you would get 36.4%. You could do it this way, or you could have just taken the 28,000 and divided by the 78,000. I'll show you that one. So if I took 28,000 divided by 77,000 and multiplied by 100, I get my 36.4%. So it's just a matter of preference on how you like to do it. About 10,400,000, or about 13% of Germany's population is younger than 15. What's the approximate population? So we want to know what this 10,400,000 is 13% of what? Okay, so I would get 13x equals 10,400,000. I'm just going to add 2 decimals and divide by 13, and you end up with the population is 80 million. So again, I use is over of equals percent over 100, and that's what I did up here, is over of percent 100. Okay, so that's the second half of 10.1.